gonna go from here. We're gonna end up talking about Enlil. Okay, so this is showing you impressions of the cylinder seal of Ensi, of Ixusin, which is Ninursi's other name, right? The seated figure is probably King Namu, right? Which is actually Fire King Namu, which is actually Nanu, which is Ninursi. But they changed in the spelling and the pronunciation of the name to confusion. Right? Watch what they say he did. Bestowing the governorship, scroll down, of Hashemer.
I got you.
Who is led before him by Lama, protective goddess. Now the Lamas are monks in the Far East. All right, now look what it says. Seeing Nana himself is indicated in the form of a crescent. Right? Now look at it say, other names. Remember, Baba says Zuin had what? Yeah. What did he have?
I don't remember.
Zuin stole what?
The tablets.
The scrolls of destiny, remember?
Yeah, the tablets. Yeah, go ahead.
Right here is where they giving it up at. Okay, so his symbol is a crescent moon and the bull's horns.
Yeah.
Right? That means that his crescent moon is flipped. It's not on his side. Left or right. Right? So now we talking about a crescent on the top or the bottom. Now, this is the same God who became Allah to replace Allah. Right? Let's go to the next page. Now look, it say Nana Sin or Zuin, right? Inzu, pronounced Suin in the Aramaic. See, all this is what Baba said. It's just right here in the public domain for anybody to go look it up. It say was the god of the moon in the Mesopotamian religions of Sumer, Akkad, Assyria, Babylonia, and Aram. He was also associated with cattle, perhaps due to the perceived similarity between bull horns and the crescent moon. He was always described as a major deity, though only a few sources, mostly these from the reign of Nabonidus, considered him to be the head of the Mesopotamian pantheon. Right? Now, the reason he can't be the head is because of his father, which we about to start getting into now. Right? Now, so look what this say. In Nugi mean the sheriff. Remember, we came up with the Tensekidar.
Yeah, right.
So this was the one tasked with taking over the sheriff's departments and replacing them with police. Right? But I see what it say, the brother of, that's all it's talking about seeing. This is the second page. Then he tell you his daughter's name, right? And who they married to. Right? Go to the next page. The next page might be the one before this. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. See where it say Enlil's sons, Ninurtu? Yeah. Ninurtu born on Nibiru, right? His mother was Dinnerstag. Enlil's royal heir due to the double seed rule. What's the double seed rule? Do you know?
No.
The double seed rule is when you get the matriarchal and the patriarchal rulership rights. You get the inheritance of the mother to support the throne and rulership from the father to enforce the protection. All right. Then you get, see where it say Nannersin? Right there. Born on earth to mother Ninlil, right? So now it's telling you their first son, right? Iskar, a dad. Remember, boy, a dad? Born on earth, same mother, the second son. Right? Now look, the river warden, the sheriff, is telling you who's usurping what.
Yeah, you're right. Right here. The brother.
Right? Because what is a warden?
A warden, like a ward of the state, like ward of the state or warden over a jail, overseer over a jail.
The warden is the one who handles the ward of the state.
The governor, pretty much, is a warden.
The warden is the one that oversees the wards of the state.
Okay.
The sheriff is the one bringing them in.
Yep. Damn, this shit is, man, bro. I couldn't find this shit for nowhere. I couldn't find like this the bloodline like this. You found
okay,
this?
go to the next one.
It's some good shit, man. Go ahead. All right.
Okay, Eker, Enlil's temple residence in Nippur. Now you can look them cities up separate and you can get more detailed into this shit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's a Igla Gasina, Enlil's temple residence in Der Enlil. That means the city of Enlil. Right? And then you got Eadad, which is the temple of Enlil. Scroll down. Let's see what else you got.
We got him.
Right?
Niggas bad.
Edukuk, house of the sheer heat. Right? That's the dunks.
With descendants of the Olmecs, since they say that. Okay.
This is what they did. This is the hard part for us to understand, because the Dawes Rolls got us fucked up. They brought them people over here as POWs from wars before. See, they got kicked out of Europe. They took their spoils of war with them, which included slaves. They classified them as indentures when they brought them over here, because slavery was not allowed on this land, nor was debt. And lo and behold, soon as they get a stronghold, the first thing they do is establish a system of debt and slavery. And they look like us. We call them house niggas.
Oh.
They ain't us. They own the house, and the pale people in the house pretending to be massa was they servants that they brought over here with them. The ones that they brought from the wars with the Mongols and the Huns. And this is why Genghis Khan blood is so thick on this land.
Wow.
Because they brought Huns by the ton. They had captured in warfare and rendered servants in servitude. The contracts that we call treaties was made between those two groups of people. Didn't have nothing to do with us. So they established the Dawes Roll to register the Huns and the Mongolians that they brought over here, and they had some people from the Indus Valley mixed in with them. And they called these people Dawes Rolls Indian. This is how they tied the tribes. The Dawes Roll Indians. They took the elders, especially the old ladies, and quarantined them to one of the reservations. The old lady then had to teach the young women from over there, and this is how the women was able to make pacts and agreements in their face behind their backs for them to keep our sacred secrets on the reservations while we go out here and fight this war.
Are the Lenape a part of that? I tagged a brother named Ross Ben because he delved into the history of Philadelphia. The Lenape posed as our people, signed a treaty, and I guess started Philadelphia, and it was down here from there.
Yeah, that was a Dawes. All treaties was done with Dawes Rolls Indian.
Okay.
It wasn't done. You can't find a treaty that was a real Iroquois. The Seminoles never, the Hopi never signed treaties.
Right, the Hopi. They held it
the
down.
tribes. You'll hear all of the tribes, the ones on the reservation, saying this tribe never signed a treaty. That's because we've been locked in a perpetual state of war. Right? We just been in the middle of a ceasefire. That's all. We just in the middle of a ceasefire. It went from a full-blown bloodbath to a conjure war only. Because they got rid of all our elders with the bloodbath. They got rid of the elders, they can miseducate the children And they thought that that would be enough. Enough to keep us from remembering who we is at the close of the age so they can claim victory by military conquest.
Mm.
There was one wild card they did never. Big Mama always got one motherfucking child, one of her boys, designed for the job that's at hand.
All right, now, yes.
She got one for every job they come up with to hold us and oppress us. She got one of her boys gonna come fix this shit. In
Also,
this particular case,
mm-hmm.
it's me.
And we appreciate you. I appreciate you. I mean, as everybody else has said, from what I've heard, I was listening to your videos. And something that you mentioned when you talked about Liberia and how they brought, I don't know, some of us over there. I also wanted to bring up Sierra Leone because they founded a university there when they came over. And they found a university.
Right. So
in
let's go back a little bit further.
Liberia.
You ever heard of the Berlin Conference?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this was the problem. The Berlin Conference was the European nations dividing the world up in order to carry what they call a white man's burden.
Mm.
White man's burden was written in the poem by Rudyard Kipling, who explained it. It was announced by the Pope, a mission directive of the Catholic Church was the white man's burden to civilize the world and convert them into the faith of the Roman Catholic Church. I think it froze her up. I don't know. There you go. You back now. They had you froze for a minute. Can you hear me? You went silent. There you go. I can hear you now.
Oh, I'll turn my Wi-Fi off. Hey, okay, whatever works. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, you're real good now. Look, they say she's back. So look, when they're using scare tactic as a means of control, you have to use the same tactic as a means to break the control. Don't none of them organizations, secret societies scare you because all their secrets is out in the open. You just got to be perceptive enough to see them. The only reason why you don't know their secrets is because your erudition, your education level, isn't sufficient enough to know how to translate their language.
And which
so that's
they
why Larry told me
right
to
now?
brain bang. All of the secret societies, there's no exception. They all the same.
Okay.
They're just from different clans in antiquity, right? But you can read any one of their language. It's not secret. It's just sacred. Because the only way you'll be able to translate their language into the common terms is you have to have a certain amount of education. And you have to have education across fields. You can't only be educated to be a doctor. You got to be educated to be a lawyer, a pharmacist, a motherfucking stockbroker, historian. You know, you got to know every aspect of the society.
And that's what has my head in the clouds, especially being all air. It's like I've been reaching into all these different branches just for an answer of one thing, because you do need to know languages and symbols that go across different stuff. So for anybody out there that's going through what I'm going through, it's like how do you just woosah? Because I'm reading stuff. It's just like overbearing, I guess.
Look, check this out. In America, when you graduate from high school or university, you normally only speak English, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the only country in the world where you graduate from higher learning and only speak one language. In African countries, even to this day, you're not even classified as educated unless you speak a minimum of 5 languages.
5, wow.
Otherwise, you're just a layman, an average Joe. Right? So you got a minimum of 5 languages in Africa. Over here, you only need English. You can get a PhD and only know English.
Right.
You can't get a PhD in Nigeria and only know Nigerian, or only know French, or only know Bantu, or only know Ifa. You can't get a degree. They can't give you a degree. It doesn't meet their educational standards and guidelines. So why does it meet our educational standards and guidelines to only know one language? Because the language is created in such a way as you see everything upside down and backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then they teach you to use the world as the first frame of reference instead of using yourself. When you start using the external frame of reference first over you never learn how to navigate your avatar, use your emotions. You never learn. It never occurred to you that all of the stuff you're looking for in the external God is that stuff that's all bundled up inside of you, you suppress it.
Exactly. No, yes, that's becoming wise. That's the wisdom that's bestowed on me right now. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes from confirmation, like people like you, it's like, yes, it's inside of me. I see it in my dreams. I hear it in the ringing. But you still want solace. You still want community. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's why our people use the AME church to hide our secrets in, because we could still congregate.
Mm.
And then they can use the church as a means to weed out the charlatans, because you know by the way he preach, whether he the charlatan preacher or whether he the real preacher, and he can't come in the back and So they let him come in, tell his story. We ain't believe that shit. You listen, we ain't started believing that shit until the civil rights movement.
Wow.
Once the civil rights movement came and Martin started talking about a nonviolent protest,
Mm-hmm.
it was done right there. That brain fucked us. That brain fucked us, because now we took the Bible to be even more valid than it was.
Mm.
And it's not valid for us at all because it has nothing to do with us. The Bible has nothing to do with us. The Quran, all that shit about the Middle East, about families in the Middle East, right? When we families over here, they families over there. Why did we go by their family book? Because when we try to twig into their family, we forsake our own. But my mama told me, honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long on this earth. So fuck them motherfuckers. They can pack up their Bible. Because remember, the first thing they gave us when they got here was a Bible and taught us how to pray. We bowed our heads and prayed, stood up with the Bible in our hand, and they had all the land.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I was blessed not to have to go through that story. So the religion part skipped me. But I'm all
The
about
school system was started in the church.
Mm.
We forget about that. And we wouldn't allow them to set up the original educational system if it wasn't predicated up on our teaching method. Step down education. 12th graders teach 11th graders. 11th graders teach 10th graders. 10th graders teach 9th graders. 9th graders teach 8th graders. By the time you graduate, you're a teacher and a student.
Wow.
You know your shit. You know your shit. You're responsible, and the responsibility to teach
the child in the grave behind you was like, that was prideful. Now it's looked up on as it's repulsive. I want to be hanging out with that little dweeb, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all the time, that's part of the pride in our culture. Because for us to each one teach one, that's so heavy in our culture that's what make that system work. And then the setup, the step down education keeps the wisdom of the elders permeating to the youth, so the youth can't be exploited. That's why when the bloodbath came, they killed the elders.